Okay, welcome back to the program. Joining me now is Barry Bonvillain, of course, a well-known figure in Terrebonne Parish, former parish president and currently a candidate for parish president. And Barry's going to have his formal announcement as candidate of Terrebonne Parish. But Barry, first, I just want to welcome you here and thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Jamie, and I certainly appreciate Martin Falls and HTV for allowing all of the candidates to at least, give their open remarks, about their candidates and their announcements, rather. And certainly I would have the time tonight to do that.
All right, yeah, sure. Why don't you go ahead and then maybe we'll have some questions after.
Okay. First of all, when you're applying for a job, which I'm applying for a job, and the people will pick that person to do the job, you need a resume. So first of all, I'd like to submit some of my resume to the voters out there.
Absolutely.
And, I graduated, I'm a lifelong resident of Terrebonne Parish. I graduated from Terrebonne High School. One day after high school, I volunteered and went to the United States Marine Corps for 4 years, which was certainly a change of life. And after that, I worked for the Prudential Insurance Company for 25 years. I served on the City Council, the Houma City Council, the Board of Aldermen at the time. And then after that, you went to the new consolidated government. I was there, one of the first councilmen to go into the new consolidated government, which was some really trying times.
Right.
I served 8 years as a parish council member. And fortunately, I was elected parish-wide twice by the people of this parish to represent them, in a consolidated government. Since I've been out of a few other things I've done, Jimmy, now I manage the East Park Recreation Center, which I had the opportunity to serve as the manager for 8 hurricane emergency shelters, and that was an ordeal, and that included people from Katrina. It came down, 550 we housed, and I was so proud.
And I remember talking to you doing those things, and you were right there on the spot, you've done that. I mean, you've almost done that forever, but certainly appreciate your service to the public. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. Why don't you go ahead?
No, and I appreciate the comment because I know I was in touch with y'all gathering information and y'all asking for information, so that allowed me the time to do it. There's several organizations I belonged to, the East Park Volunteer Fire Company, for quite a while. When I was young, I coached Babe Ruth kids, which was a real good thing. My wife, I've been married to my wife, El Ray Berg, and I have 2 children and about 7 grandchildren. The last count I had something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's part of my resume, and just let the people know who I am and what I did. And sometime now I think we need to tell them what we want to do.
Okay.
And I plan to do that during this time that I am allowed to do it.
Okay, well, let me just ask you then, Barry. I mean, you certainly have served the public. There's no question about it. And I don't think anybody can ever question Barry Bonvillain's passion for Terrebonne Parish. Tell me a little bit about that, how passionate you've been, and maybe where do you get that from? How did you arrive at that? Because it's obvious to anybody that knows you.
Well, Jimmy, I think it goes back to my entire family. My grandfather had 8 sons and 2 daughters, and just about all of them were involved in the parish in some type of way. In fact, my father was an ex-city councilman. Some people wasn't aware of that. He served with Mayor Davidson, when Mayor Davidson was the mayor at the time. And there's just a thing that I've been involved in. I'm always around people. People always asking for help. Since I'm out of office, I get more phone calls probably than when I was parish president. People, who I call, where do I go, how do you handle that? And certainly I was able to tell them that because I think I have a lot of knowledge of this government.
Sure.
And as you can see, I gave you my experience and knowledge is of Terrebonne Parish. I'm probably the only candidate in this race that knows every crack and crevice in Terrebonne Parish, where every drainage pump station is, or sewer pump station is, or levees are. Been there and probably did most of them. Mm-hmm. I was involved in quite a few. Last week you had a tremendous rain. We got the 11B project. I was watching that. And I'm proud to say that 11B, it was talked about, but we did that.
Right.
And to come to find out, not one home flooded.
And that's a large area of the parish.
That is the largest drainage system in Terrebonne Parish. It goes from Shreva to the Intercoastal Canal, from Bayou Terrebonne to Bayou Blue. And prior to the construction of that system, there was a lot of flooding in Broadmoor, Lisa Park, Oakshire, even up there in the Shreva area. And I'm glad to see it's working, and I think the parish had replenished the levees, because the levees sink, and it came close to one of the storm where it almost got topped. Thank God it didn't. But when you build a levee, you have to constantly maintain levee. You just don't forget, build them and forget about it. They sink.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Barry, and of course, moving forward, I think your accomplishments obviously are on record as to what you did in the past, but let's look forward a little bit. Tell us a little bit, if you don't mind. But what is your plan, I guess, for the future of Terrebonne Parish?
Well, first of all, I'm just going to continue with my announcement.
Sure, that's fine.
Maybe your question will be answered. But some of the things that I don't think I mentioned was a civic center, a library, a juvenile detention center, a transit system, an apartment complex downtown Homer, Water Life Museum, and numerous drainage projects that we were able to accomplish. And by the way, my biggest budget was something like $108 million. What could I have done with a budget that is $250 to $300 million now? What could we really have done? I see some ongoing projects. Extension of West Side Boulevard. Well, that's not something that just came up. This is something, I received some Texaco money a few years back, $15.3 million. 4 projects I put in that road project. West Side Boulevard, Hollywood Road widening, St. Charles, which we did St. Charles, Country Drive in Berg with a bridge at St. Ann Bridge. I mean, a bridge at St. Ann Bridge in Berg. Well, the bridge is being done. Nothing has been done to the road, and there's 7 or 8 people got killed on that road. Hollywood Road, we're still talking about it. West Side Boulevard, finally being done. So this is not a pipe dream somebody brought up. This is something that gets carried over, and it keeps getting carried over, put in the capital outlay fund and you plan, and then when money becomes available, then you're able to do the project.
Okay.
Extension of Bayou Garden Boulevard. We did that to Coto. The plan was to go all the way to Bayou Blue with it. So monies are coming available, and hopefully those things can be done. Let's get some traffic going.
All right.
Drainage. Rain all the time. People for street, as long as it doesn't get in your house, we're all right.
Right.
We keep it on the street, but unfortunately, in some cases, we have a bad situation on Bayou King. So much development over there, and you have one pump station that's trying to handle that whole system of Dewey Street, Buquet Street, and all these things, and you have all this stuff on Martin Luther King trying to go to the Bonanza pump station. That has to be improved. Now, there's a buyout plan. At the end of the road, the people are constantly flooded. If they want to sell their home, then eventually what can happen, you can put some little holding pond. The first holding pond ever built in the parish where Lowe's is. And we requested that when they built it, you put a holding pond in it. You got one there. I think Home Depot has one. There's several of them now, and I do in Walmart. And I know the Walmart on the east side has a holding pond. So we have to do something with that water that's not going in the ground. You cut all the trees down. The trees suck up a lot of water.
Right.
You cut all of the trees down. All you have is concrete. So Walmart built one at one time. The people in Swan Avenue was against it. But right now, it's the best thing that ever happened to their drainage system. They don't even get it on the road anymore.
Well, that's true.
So those things work.
Yeah.
And certainly, I'm familiar with budgets. I put 8 budgets together. I know about capital outlay plan. I know where money comes from. And a lot of money is coming into the parish now. But it's coming because of disasters where our people suffered losses, flooding, or damage to homes or whatever, businesses, from Katrina. And even before that, you're still getting money that's coming in here. Then you're getting money that's coming in from Gustav and Ike and these other ones. And also you got money that's coming in from the oil spill. So all of these things there, and I think I have the knowledge, the experience, where should it go? In my opinion, I think the majority of that money needs to go to drainage, levees. Let's get that lock over there going, and I know that's in the process now on the navigation canal in Grand Carbine. the levy district was able to get more money. You know, the people were good enough to pass a tax to help them, of course, and to get money from the state, to get money from local government to assist in this program. Until that system is completed. The two buyers right now seem like they're always the last one, is Bayou the Large and Grand Kaya. These people will continue to flood from storm until that lock is put in the navigation canal and also Grand Kaya Bayou. And by the way, also one in Falgu Canal, I would say by the land, you need some from water that would come from the west, because the water comes in and goes south and floods the people from the bayou.
Right.
And those things need to be looked at and make sure those things are accomplished. And the Tidewater District is doing a fantastic job, and I'm very proud of them. And like I said, I remember Mr. Claudette making a statement that he was a, what you call a turning lane president. Well, Barry Bonvillain was a drainage president. I'm the only parish president that ever did any projects on the island that had rocks. Wine Island, we rehab Wine Island. The Corps of Engineers, every time they should dig Cat Island Pass, they're supposed to put the spars on Wine Island. Well, they never did that.
Yeah.
The rocks are still there. Then you got Coon Point, we have the rock jetters at Coon Point, and those things are working because they're grabbing sand. Right. Why the Corps of Engineers? Why the environmentalists don't want to put it in rock? We got to put something other than the sand. Sand cannot take the pressure of a storm, because every time a storm comes, you go back and get the sand out of Lake Pelter, pump it back. Pumped it up to 9 feet one time. Called me over there for a press conference, and I said, "You invited the wrong one." I said, "Where's the rocks? Where's the barrier? Why yelling seal off New Cut? You build this up 9 feet, and next storm you can go back and get your 9 feet of sand out of Lake Pelter." And that's what's happening over there. We're wasting money. If we're going to do something, let's do it the right way. That should not do something just to say that we're going to do it. Let's do it right.
And of course, rocks is essential, in your opinion, is to hold the sand in place.
Well, it's a barrier. Why we call them barrier islands?
Right.
Well, we have to put something out there to make it a barrier. I mean, right now you got sandbars out there for islands. Our restoration, man, you go back a Montague, the Gulf is over there on the other side of that levee. You know, the Fort Drainage levee that's
right.
over there. There it is right there. I just want to make sure I have the knowledge. I know where drainage needs to be done. I've attacked the drainage problems in the past, and I certainly am looking forward to doing it in the future, but do it the right way, something that's going to work, and not to say, well, we did this. Something that's going to work and work properly. Okay, a few other things. I know I'm running out of time. First, few things I don't like what's been going on with the new way. I didn't like the way the police chief thing was handled. In other words, I would handle that completely different, and I have all the admiration in the world for, Chief DePlanet and also Pat Boudreaux. But I just don't think that was handled properly. I think the man should have been allowed to come back to work. Couldn't perform a job, get rid of it. Then you do what you have to do. I didn't agree with the public safety director being hired for $100,000 for 3 years. That position was created under Bobby Badger in 2000. And it was never filled other than until last year it was filled, and the man stayed there for less than a year, $100,000. That's the guy that got to oversee your police chief and your fire chief. You don't have enough confidence in your chief to run that department. We have to have another layer of government to do it. I didn't agree with that, and now I understand, and Mr. Mitchell is a very fine gentleman. He has a good job with BP now, from that, I think that's where he had gone. I didn't like the idea Mr. Claudette for Gustav turning things over to the sheriff and bailing out his responsibilities. And I understand somebody can be forgiven for him, but his comments that I've heard never admit that he did wrong. You follow me? But anyway, that was poorly handled. The contraflow of Gustav. People were kept away from this parish too long. 4 days was too long. A lot of people left because of the emergency the mandatory evacuation. They went to motels somewhere. They could stay 1 night, 2 nights. 4 nights was out of their budget. And I've been doing a lot of walking throughout this parish, and a lot of people, and I'm afraid, they say they're not going to leave again because of that. And I hope, I hope they leave.
Right. Well, and apparently more and more we see hurricanes, and we're just about out of time, but I did want to maybe let you get some closing remarks, maybe a little bit about your campaign. And I know you've been walking, and that's kind of been your trademark when you were elected before. You used to walk all of the neighborhoods, and I know you've been doing it again from talking to you before the show. But let me just let you have a few final comments.
Yes, first of all, my campaign is going to be a grassroots campaign. You're not going to see any fancy billboards, big signs from Barry Bonvillain. You're not going to see Barry Bonvillain spend $250,000 like what happened 4 years ago in the election. $250,000 running for parish president. It really amazes me. My campaign is probably going to be, bare minimum. We have a lot of people that's going to be out there that's out there walking, and they're walking as I speak. I hope they're not getting wet in the rain. All I can ask the people, I like to have a chance. Bring Barry back. I really feel like I am the man for all of the people in this parish. You're not a choice few. I don't have any friends that's in the real estate business. I'm not a realtor. I'd like to see the parish quit purchasing all kinds of property, and certainly, when you want to build another juvenile detention center, you want to build another public safety complex, I'll be totally against that. To me, that's a waste of taxpayers' money. Lafourche Parish don't have 2 juvenile detention centers. We don't need 2 of them. What we need to do is find a way to treatment instead of incarceration, in my opinion.
All right. Okay.
And I don't have a number yet. And anybody that would like to contact me, I'm on Facebook, Vote Barry, and my home phone is 872-5955, and it will never get unpublished, by the way. It's always been in the book, and it never get unpublished because I enjoy talking to people. And I just want to thank the people that we've seen so far for being so nice to to my workers out there knocking on their doors, and also I appreciate the way they've been treating me, and I'm looking forward to meeting maybe 10,000 more people. Well, you never know. If it quit raining, maybe I'll get a little bit more work in.
Well, look, Barry, it's a pleasure to see you again, to talk to you. Certainly wish you well in your campaign, and want to thank you for not only your past public service, but for putting yourself up for public office. That's certainly not easy to do, and we really appreciate your offering yourself to the people.
My final statement, Jimmy, is this was not an easy decision for me to make, believe me. It was not. I've looked at the candidates. I am the only one that have past parish-wide experience. That's a couple of them have never been in public. Everyone's been in public office, but only represented 1 district. I'm used to representing 9 districts, and I know all the districts and where they are located. And I'm the only veteran that's running for parish president, and I'm very proud of that. Being a United States Marine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. What we'll do is we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to take your phone calls on any topic that you'd like to talk about. Don't go away. We'll be right back.